know how when you're younger and you got an old muscle car or something and you wind up doing something stupid to it, it usually winds up being selling, wrecking it, or jacking up the back end and putting air shocks on it, but it still look cool. But yeah, I did something similar on my 69, but I didn't wreck it nor sell it. I decided I'd try and make it cooler. Dumbass. Fucking dumbass. And when I was much younger, I decided we'd shave the engine bay except for the stuff I wanted to keep, factory AC and the layout. But all the unnecessary unused holes from the non-AC cars, there's a couple of heater holes up here, hole here, holes all over that panel, a couple of unused holes back over yonder there, a couple of unused holes in the frame rail. Come over here. Obviously the shock towers had those big acetylene torch grease zerk points, 4 of them, one on each side, man. They were horrible to get to. And shaved up all the unnecessary stuff that pretty much sat around and just drove me nuts. And now I'm going through the misery of grinding all the welds out and sitting there doing the body filler, covering myself in dust. And the downside is the only people who are really going to notice this, aside from whomever I'm telling on this, thank you for watching, is going to be another 69 owner who did something similar and dumb. And he'll be able to go around and say, hey man, where's all them extra harmonica holes you used to have in here? And that one dude will notice it, we'll high five, and I'll feel so much better about wasting a year and a half of my life grinding, body filling, and doing all this. But I'm getting near the tail end of it. Got a little more work to do on that shock tower over there, and then a little more body filler. You know, you got to make it perfect for stuff you're never going to see once you shove the engine back in there. Then I'm going to shoot it all in primer again. Then we're going to drop some gray on there. It would be different color what you're seeing here, more of a silver, simply because I don't want black. Black is going to show all the blemishes. It looks like hell over time. I've never seen them age well. I'm going to do it with a single stage enamel because I know I'm going to beat the hell out of it, putting the motor and transmission back in, and then this thing's going to be tinkered with over time. It's going to be my little toy as I get older and hit my twilight years. I don't really want to do anything this extreme again, but it is what it is. I started it when I was much younger, dumber, didn't have a kid, but I got a kid and the extra time. We're going to get her put back together. I don't give myself timelines, obviously, because we're looking at 15, 16 years here, but I'd like to see this thing back together sooner than later. Bodywork's the big holdup. I'm going to finish this, and then we've got the engine sitting right here, actually, out of an 87 Mustang, and I got the auto transmission sitting right yonder there. Those are going to be regasketed, gone through, and then I'm going to slide them back in here so this thing's a roller and a driver. Yeah, I hope. And then we're going to come back and we're going to finish what's going on in the quarter panels here. This car originally came from Wisconsin. So it had some rot up in here, back in here. I did some work in the past and wasn't real happy with the way it came out. So I actually went and bought about a third of another 69 Mustang Coupe, where it is this whole quarter panel. I doubt I'll be able to clip anything in here, but I'll show a picture of it in a future video. So I'm going to be replacing original factory metal with original factory metal, and hopefully it'll come out a whole lot slicker looking than some old Chinese parts that don't have the same sharp creases. I'll save as much as I can, but I have the entire thing. I can literally take it off as a quarter panel skin. Most likely what I'm going to be doing on the driver's side, that got backed into, had some body work. It was a nightmare. The guy had sculpted it out of just body filler. So, anyhow, we'll get this going and back on the road. And this is something I picked up in high school. Drove it for a few years after. It was about 23 or 24, 23 I want to say. Main bearing, got it parked, pulled it apart, bought another truck as a daily driver. Life happened, had a kid. So this is where she sits now. Obviously, you know, I've got other projects and toys. This is what got me going back into it. This is what started it. This is a single family owned car. Grandma bought it. Mom's car in college. My brother's car in high school. My car in high school. And you'll see over yonder there, that white Ranger. Zoom. This guy right here used to be a little 4-cylinder Ranger. It's the Mrs. car. And the PCM started having issues. I didn't feel like messing with it much, so now that is a 5-liter out of an Explorer with a 5-speed. It's a pretty little fun truck. And then we'll swing back over yonder here. Obviously I've got a town car obsession. Here is one of my favorite ones. I call this one Mayweather. This one actually made me some money. And it's green, but you can't see it for hell. But it got picked up by a forklift and wound up making me some scratch, which cars never do. And you get to keep the car. So, free car. Made me, I don't know, about $3 or so, which is neat. Here's another one that I picked up from Copart. Actually flew up to Portland to pick this one up. One-way ticket and backpack full of clothes. And fixed it in a parking lot over in Vancouver, Washington, because it was way less sketch than doing shit in Portland. Axle had been bent, car was pit maneuvered on a theft recovery. Had to fix the axle, found out 2 of the cats had been stolen, and it actually took me more time to cobble together a temporary exhaust system for this to drive it back than it did to fix the axle. But certainly an adventure. And I don't know, it took me about 3 or 4 days to get it going, and then I just cannonballed home and made it in I think like 29 hours, something absurd. But there's that town car. Got another one parked around the corner, so I won't show it to you. It's my daily. It's the oldest, so I use it for work. And hiding back over here, yeah, y'all ain't gonna be able to see it, is my kid's Bronco. So back in the dungeon. I need to get this done. I'm tired of looking at it in pieces. I want to drive it. I want to have a toy again that we're looking forward to. I've got a tilt column in there. I want to say it's an I Did It. Got an old school carbon fiber steering wheel I bought probably the late 90s, you know, when it was all the rage and the most expensive wheel in the book. You can't see nothing on here because I've got it full of parts so I don't misplace the parts. What I'm after real quick is the Marty report. This is actually cool to get. I knew my car was nothing special, but it's always nice to have it proven whether it is or isn't. But anyhow, if any of y'all care to pause on that, I'll give you all the info you need. It does have silver jade, and I am intent on going back to it. Originally, it wasn't my cup of tea, and then I finally saw one of these cars in person that had silver jade, and it's a spectacular color. Here's a bit of it in here that's just been untouched. It is cool looking, but once you see it in the flesh, man, it's something else. So she's gonna go back to that silver jade. If she get accents or whatnot, you know, we'll figure it out. It's a car. It's what you do. So appreciate you wasting your time with this. Y'all got anything stupid you've done with your car that has sandbagged you for 15 years from finishing it? Throw it in the comments, man. I can relate. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.